Good evening. I'm Brady Alderson, and the Sports Ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Well Systems. The 6th-ranked Husker wrestling team is set to take on the 4th-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes at the Devaney tonight at 8 p.m. Jessica Coody will be coming to you live from the Devaney during the show as the Huskers prepare for their duel with the Hawkeyes. Tomorrow, the Huskers men's basketball team will put their undefeated record on the line in Minnesota as they take on the 10-9 Gophers. The Huskers are looking for their 20th win of the season and 24th straight win going back to the Crown Tournament of last year. Nebraska is now just one of 3 remaining teams with a perfect record. The Sports Ticker was brought to you by the Stonebridge Well Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Coming up next is Hour 1 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Skip pass, deep left corner. Phillips drives past Hoiberg. Jump stop. He's just picked his pocket. Just took that ball right away from him. Hoiberg on the other end. Drives that puppy. Lays it up and in. He did it on the defensive end. He took it all the way down and scored. Now the drive on the right side to Kropp. Drop step, puts it up, missed the shot. Ball tip, Jacobson to Hoiberg. Looks up the floor, gets it back to Jacobson. Throws it to Sanford, shoots up a 30-footer. Bang! Bang, Reno. Holy smokes! The Huskers are on fire!
Flips it out top to Hargrove, defended by Sotillo. Amaya goes down the left lane line around Sotillo and gives Nebraska the lead. Amaya's got 19.
She's got 7 straight for the Big Red.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome live inside John Cook Arena. We have got an epic wrestling duel coming up for you tonight. And actually, it's an epic wrestling weekend because we've got number 4 tonight, Iowa, taking on the Huskers, ranked number 6 in the country, and coming up on Sunday, number 2 in the country, Ohio State. So we thought we'd do a thing tonight and be on location. I'm here over here at the Devaney Center. Kyle is back inside the warmth of the Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center back at the stadium. Kyle, how you holding up today?
It's good. As you can see,
cranky?
I decided to go with my most intimidating look. This is the first time in years that I've worn a scarf. So I decided that let me show our Husker radio audience that watches on YouTube and watches on social media or many different platforms. We're on Facebook now, by the way, for those out there.
Yes.
And I'm wearing my scarf, and I'm extra warm today. When I walked out the door to come here to North Stadium today, it is about the coldest my face has ever felt in my entire life. It was a feels-like temperature, Jess, and you know this. You've been here for a while now, of negative 22. Negative 22. I didn't think that was humanly possible, but here we are.
I figured you might be a little cranky pants today, but that's all right.
Oh, well.
Hey, it's pretty cool being over here. Been over here for a couple hours now. You can feel the buzz. Obviously, it's the rivalry matchup between Nebraska and Iowa, but also just what's on the line. And it's been since 2006 since this Nebraska wrestling team has beat Iowa. I got a chance to chat with Mark Manning earlier to preview this one, not just tonight, although this team is all focused in on tonight and beating Iowa tonight before they'll even look ahead to number 2 Ohio State on Sunday. But I asked him, is this the biggest weekend that this program has ever had? And he said, in terms of being at home, yes, with 2 top 5 teams coming to town in a matter of 2 days, and both here at home. Now, they might have had one where they were at home and then on the road, but to have 2 top 5 teams here, and then, oh, by the way, a week from tonight, they'll be at Penn State. So talk about a gauntlet for Husker wrestling. But there's been a lot of talk about this lineup, and a couple of the guys that were not able to go last week, they're ready to go tonight. But we will talk to Mark Manning. Shane Sparks, who is, if you know college wrestling, you know Shane Sparks. He's going to be on the call tonight on the Big Ten Network, and so I got a chance to chat with him as well. Ridge Lovett, the national champion, is going to join me live here in just a few minutes. So we've got a fun show planned for you as we get set for the 8 o'clock start here tonight in this duel between Nebraska and Iowa. I am fired up, Kyle. It's just you could just tell it's a big one here tonight.
Yeah, I was looking through some of it, and I saw on social today 7,200 tickets have been sold tonight for John Cook Arena, which that would be a record, would it not, for Husker Wrestling inside Devaney? So we are staring at right in the face of a record, considering how cold it is outside and everything. People are still going to make it out to John Cook Arena to watch this tonight. And you told me earlier in the week that this is probably one of the better, if not the best, wrestling environment whenever Iowa comes to Lincoln. Their fan base travels for this. And all the ranked on ranked matchups, you have a total of probably 7 ranked bouts in this matchup. You'll have probably 9 ranked bouts with Ohio State. So there's a lot of interesting matchups tonight. I was doing a little Googling because I want to be frank and honest with our audience, as I always am. I don't know a whole lot about wrestling. I grew up watching professional wrestling, but not actual wrestling. My brother wrestled in high school. I was never tough enough I played basketball, so I never was in the kind of the stratosphere of wrestling, but I'm trying to learn more and more as we go. But it seems like there's 3 or so matches that might be the swing in this whole thing. 133, 149, 174. If you look at some of these matchups, if you could pull up maybe a few upsets out of those 3 matches, you're probably looking at the Huskers' first win over Iowa since January of 2006. I think they haven't beaten Iowa in Lincoln since 1993. So Iowa has had a significant edge in this all-time series. We all know that both of these teams have a roster to win a national championship, but specifically Nebraska, this is a statement match, not just tonight. And if it doesn't go their way tonight, there's still a massive opportunity on Sunday with the second best team in the country in Ohio State, and you'll have both of those bouts at home.
Yeah, and Iowa coming off a really bad loss. In fact, one of the worst in program history. I think the worst since the 60s to Penn State. So they'll come in here hungry here tonight. But you mentioned it. I mean, people, all the wrestling folks, the people that have followed this, I mean, they're all eyes in college wrestling across the country are going to be on this one here tonight. It's one of the epic matchups here this weekend in college wrestling. So a lot of people will be paying close attention to this one, but people trying to guesstimate where the points might go, trying to see which bout might go which way. And I think for most every prediction has it pretty close, and so it should be some fireworks here inside this one tonight. And so we'll continue to preview this one and get you set for this one and talk lots of Husker wrestling. As it's a huge weekend for this program, and set to break a record here tonight. I texted Alex Harris, who runs the marketing, and was asking him about tickets earlier today. And the record was set back in December when Oklahoma State was here in town, and it was 7,094, I believe was the exact number. And at 2:00, there was 6,800 tickets that were sold. And then as of 4:30, I believe there were 7,200, which would break that record and get pretty darn close to a sellout. And so huge for this program. And yes, there are going to be a lot of Iowa fans here. They travel well, so it should be an epic atmosphere, and I cannot wait. And we'll continue to preview this one here over the next few minutes. But did want to make sure we mention here in the top of the segment, big news coming out yesterday about Jalen Reyes, the now associate head coach for Nebraska volleyball. Great friend of the program. We have him on as a part of the dig, and has been a huge part of this Nebraska volleyball staff and what has been built here. And he's instrumental in recruiting, and is just when you talk about the day-to-day and game planning and all of that, he is as good as it gets. And I think everybody that follows this Nebraska volleyball program are just kind of have been holding their breath on when he's going to get offered a head coaching job. But Danny Busboom-Kelly able to re-sign him with an extension, a 3-year deal, but then also promote him to the associate head coach. I think, she said after working with him for a year, they had some familiarity with each other, obviously with John Cook and Danny Busboom-Kelly's relationship and the way that they crossed paths when they were recruiting. They were familiar with each other, but after 1 year, Danny seeing how instrumental Jalen is to this program and promoting him and saying, hey, it was a no-brainer to get him locked up. And I think really, really big for this program in a lot of different areas.
You just see him on the sidelines, Jess. We know the impact that he has in match and how he conveys information in between sets and in between rallies. He's just very active. DBK is, of course, takes charge of the huddles, and I'm, having not been around many Husker volleyball practices, I'm sure DBK handles a lot of the communication there. But in match, you just see how vital and how important he is to what he does. And you mentioned the recruiting aspect of what the Huskers do. He's massive, and it's going to be a Husker team that's going to be one of the favorites again to win a national championship. That goes without saying. And the consistency in coaching staff helps that too. You don't have a single transfer, right, that's coming out of this program. I think part of that has to do with the chemistry, the relationship between coach and player, and a big part of that is Jalen Reyes. And if you listen to him and all the interviews that you've done with him in the dig and just his normal media availabilities, he's somebody who's easy to talk to, communicates the game really, really well. And I would assume that DBK is fighting off, at least for the moment, the potential of him becoming a head coach in the near future. This silences that, at least for another year or two. We know eventually Jalen Reyes is going to be a head coach at this level. When exactly that comes, who knows? But at least this provides a little bit of clarity for the near future that Jalen Reyes is going to be here with the Husker program.
I think he's one that is very, very strategic in how he moves, and it learned a lot from John Cook. And I think he is now, just from the conversations that I've had, he's learned a lot from Danny Busboom Kelly. And so you get a chance to learn under two of the greatest to coach in this sport, and they do things differently. They do a lot of things the same, but they do things a lot differently too. There's areas that I feel like he feels like he could continue to learn from Danny Busboom Kelly before he takes on a head coaching career, when and if that day comes. But feels like probably, I guarantee you, when I ask him this, he will probably say one of the reasons he wants to, he loves it here. He absolutely loves it here. He loves the players. He loves his team. I think he probably feels a little bit unfinished business, but I think he probably also knows that there's a lot he could learn from DBK as well.
Yeah, and he's going to have the pick of the litter whenever there's a job that's open. He has to be at the top of that list. So he's a guy who's not desperate to go out and look for a job. Like, you have the time to learn, sit back,
picky.
Be a little bit. Yeah, you can be picky. He's going to be the head coach, not just of any program. When a big time program comes available, he's probably the first call, right? So it's very rare that you could be so selective when it comes to being a head coach at the Division I level. If there's one assistant in the country that could be a little selective, it's Jalen Reyes, and he's playing this smart. Sit back, learn a little bit more, perhaps win a national championship, add that to your resume. This will be his 9th season with the Huskers coming up. So he's going to be the number one option, but you're right. Be picky. He has the chance to be a little bit selective in the open market when his time comes.
I had a chance, little spoiler, I guess. Had a pretty fun interview today. You I guess maybe heard a little bit of it, but you want to talk about an epic duo coming up here. Want to stay tuned for this one. Taria Sigler and Ryan Hunter, the Rai and Ray show, working on a special for National Girls and Women in Sports Day. But yeah, I think they talked about just also because I asked them that, why in 2 years have there not been any transfer portal additions when that is the name of the game in college sports right now? And they talked a lot about just the culture within the locker room, but also just the level of competition, but also the standard here at Nebraska, and how even though your role might be bigger and you might have more accolades somewhere else, is it really making you the best you can be? I think that's got to probably be the same for coaching as well. As much as, the dream's probably to, take over a program and lead it how you see fit. But when you're talking about what is in place here, it's got to be pretty hard to walk away from. I don't care what role you're in.
Well, when you sit in that starting lineup or you're on the court and the lights are down and you look around, there's 8,000 people that surround you, not an empty seat, and season tickets and, tickets going on the secondary market for a lot of money. You just realize the culture here, the expectation, the excitement for every single match here with Husker volleyball, it's not matched anywhere else. Not just your brand on the floor when you play well, but your brand off of it, and how you become essentially a celebrity the longer that you're here. And I think these players understand, and they like that aspect too of being a Husker. When you're a Husker volleyball player, there's a lot of expectation on the floor, but also it brings you're a big part of shouldering the load in terms of furthering the game. So it's really cool to see that not a single person, especially with the core that's coming back next year for Husker volleyball, that nobody had left. That's really, really interesting. We did have a text here, by the way, come into the studio, Jess. Usually you're the one who reads the text messages, but this is from Mark, and Mark wants to ask you, would Jessica rather have the extreme cold weather here or the foot of snow expected back in her old stomping grounds in Oklahoma? There's about a foot of snow that's expected in Oklahoma.
I'll say just because I know how Oklahoma does. Well, I was going to say handle cold weather, but
they don't have
does
plows.
Not handle. They do not handle snow very well. You can't get groceries. My parents, I've talked to them. They're freaking out. Everybody's freaking out. So I'll just stay bundled up here and handle where people know how to handle this kind of stuff. But hey, on that note, we got to get to a break because, well, first, hitting on the volleyball and the crowd and the expectations, we're expecting a volleyball type crowd here tonight inside John Cook Arena and the Devaney Center for Husker Wrestling taking on Iowa. And got a special guest set to join me live here coming up on the other side of this. The national champion, Ridge Lovett, going to be here live to preview this one. And it'll be great to catch up with Ridge. So keep it here on Sports Nightly. Lots to come here on this fun edition here of Friday night edition of Sports Nightly. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back live inside John Cook Arena in the Devaney Center. I'm Jessica Coody. We got a big win coming up tonight, Nebraska and Iowa wrestling, and I am joined by the national champion at 149 pounds a year ago in the 2025 national championships, Ridge Lovett. Good to see you.
Good
Thanks
to
for
see
being
you.
here.
Absolutely.
We did a lot of interviews over the course of your career, so I feel like it was time we needed to rejoin forces again.
Absolutely.
For a big one tonight. Hey, I haven't seen you. Look it up there in the corner up there if you're just listening.
Looks good, don't it? Looks good.
You got the national champion banner hanging up there next to Antrell Taylor, but Ridge Lovett up there. How about that? How is that coming in this building and seeing your banner hanging up there as a national champ?
It's pretty cool. It's up here till a tornado comes or the place burns down. So it's like, it's a lot of hard work happened in this building. So, getting the banner up, they got some graphics over on the wrestling side of it too. So it's, it's like everywhere you go in here now, I'm starting to see my face. It's like, yeah, we did some stuff in here.
That's awesome. Well, Coach Manning was on the program before the season started and talked about you being around and said he thinks you're going to get into coaching eventually.
Yeah,
he said you're a heck of a coach and you've done a lot with this program here. You've been around, but update listeners and our viewers what's going on and what you're kind of doing right now.
Yeah, so I'm kind of making that transition into full-time freestyle, which is tough, because folk style, that's where I started wrestling. That's kind of where I fell in love with it. But we're making the switch, working out with James, P-Rob, Liam, Christian Lance, those guys. So, we're getting back into that freestyle mindset. I dabbled in it, during the summers, going to Fargo, World Team Trials and stuff like that. But I'm going to be competing in Albania next month. Me and Liam are leaving, and James is going to come with us to coach. And I think we leave the 21st, and I think I'll compete February 25th. So,
the hope is potentially pursuing Olympics.
Yeah, 2028 in LA is the goal, but world teams until then.
Okay, all right, one step at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're familiar with this rivalry here tonight. What is this battle between Iowa and Nebraska like on the wrestling mat? It is obviously epic in a lot of different sports, but what is it like as an athlete leading up into this one?
Yeah, there is the Nebraska-Iowa rivalry that goes on. Every sport, we want to beat Iowa. And, wrestling is their premier sport. But they had Dan Gable, who went, I don't even know how many national championships he won as a team. And, they've kind of had our number here in the past. But the duels are always competitive, and it's going to come down to some one-point matches. Just winning the toss-ups, winning the close ones. And, there's a few key matchups in there that I think if we can, flip one of those results from last year, it'll be a different duel.
So I think it's funny, a guy like Brock Hardy, I've talked to him, and he's a guy that tunes everything out, has no idea what the crowd is like. But then I feel like a guy like Antrell Taylor is fueled off of this. I think you were a guy that was fueled off of atmosphere, right? For those guys that are fueled by that, they're going to have a good one here tonight.
Absolutely. I think it was 7,000 and some change pre-sold. So, it's going to be popping in here. And the Iowa duel here always gets lit. But, we're looking for another attendance record. We started setting them last year. And, coming off the momentum from last year, coming into this season, we've already broke it again once and looking to do it again tonight and hopefully again on Sunday. So it'll be good.
Chatting with Ridge Lovett here as we lead up to the start here between Nebraska and Iowa wrestling. What does it do? I mean, when you're feeling it, how does it fuel you when the crowd is popping like that?
It just gives you like that extra boost of energy, when you get late into the third period and you're dog tired and you're like, oh my gosh, like I really don't want to have to go get another takedown, but bonus points are on the line and the crowd, the energy, it's like, it's contagious. You can kind of get that little jump start that you need to like, okay, yeah, I can go get one more. I can finish this match out. It just gives you that little boost. And then it also kind of reminds me of what you're fighting for, right? In Nebraska, we die for Big Red. So it's like, you're putting on for the people. They all come support, whether it's through NIL, through attendance, all the stuff. A lot of people pour a lot of time and energy to come in to attend. Like it's going to be another record-breaking attendance here tonight. So it's like these are the reasons why we do it.
I love that. What has been the messaging this week being that it's – I mean, I was talking to Coach Manning earlier. I've said this a couple times, but probably the biggest weekend in terms of having two top 5 teams coming in a home setting in one weekend, but you got to take care of tonight before you can even look to Ohio State on Sunday. So what has been the messaging for this team going into this epic weekend?
Yeah, just one match at a time, right? After last week, we had a good performance after Minnesota, and it was kind of like, all right, back to the drawing board. Let's fix some of those little mistakes, and just don't change the way that you wrestle. Just make adjustments. I was saying that on one of the interviews earlier this week with the Big 10 Plus guys. We don't want to make changes. Like, I wasn't a big scouting guy, watching a whole bunch of film of my opponents. I would watch a couple matches, be like, okay, watch out for this, watch out for that. But apart from that, I'm going to wrestle the way I wrestle. And that's kind of the way that we're approaching it. Just do your job, wrestle the way that you know how to wrestle, make little adjustments from little mistakes that you made, but we don't want to change any styles.
Yeah. In terms of, for those that might not be familiar, but in terms of when you start talking seeding and postseason, these kinds of duels, what does that do for an individual type of seeding? What can I guess a team take away that could positively impact later on in the season?
Yeah, seeding is a big deal once you get into the Big Ten and then the national tournament. So you can just kind of avoid those top ranked guys and kind of save those matchups for later on in the tournament. Kind of lightens the road for you on your way to a national title. But then for some of the guys that might be fringe qualifiers, big wins like in a duel like tonight, a win like this can carry you into the national tournament. If you're one of those fringe guys, maybe you don't get an automatic qualification, then a win like this will really help in the at-large seedings.
So, this is a time, and you're certainly familiar with it. It seems like Coach Manning really the team builds, right? You don't want to be your best in November, and I think maybe some people might have panicked a little bit on some of the outcomes earlier in the season. But what is it about what Coach Manning and the staff does that allows for it to build where you guys are at your best when you need to be at your best?
Yeah, just pushing the pace early in the season, hard, long practices, right? And then as the year goes on, we start shortening them up, more just like crisp technique, focusing on fixing those little mistakes. But then early in the year, like in national duels, our team was pretty banged up.
Yeah.
Going into the season, like you're in good shape, but your body isn't quite in that fighting shape. But after you get 10, 15 matches of real competition, your body starts to harden up a little bit. Your joints start feeling a little bit better. Like, yeah, my body's prepared to go into this fight. And, that's a big part is just keeping the guys healthy and then just little adjustments and just keep the guys, just moving forward. We're not finished products, just continual 1% every day.
I think, it's also important. It's such a mental thing. And talking with Jacob Van Dia about this, I feel like you guys do a good job of not making anything too big, whether it be a big win or a loss. It just is, hey, we just got to get better from it, move on.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it is important to get excited about your wins when you perform well. That's like some energy that you want to carry. But then also having short-term memory with losses, or even if it's not a loss, bad performance. Like with Jake Van D last week, a 1-0 win, and Jake was frustrated. He knows he should have beat the kid by more points. But sometimes when you're wrestling a kid who's okay with losing, it's hard to kind of run the score up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, he put effort out until the final whistle, and that's something that you see from a lot of guys on the team, and that's that mental fortitude, just being ready to fight the whole time, and just kind of stick to your guns and do what you do.
Okay, well, an exciting one tonight, and we were just chatting with it. You look at every single weight and every single matchup, coin toss in a lot of them. Break it down for us. How does this thing look in terms of paper going into this one?
When I was scoring it, I ran through it at the duel beforehand, like a couple hours ago, and I had it, 21-15, maybe 20-15, but it's going to be a tight one. 25. They have Dean Peterson, transfer from Rutgers, who beat Luke Lillydahl, who's ranked number 1 in the country last year. They've had some up and down performances, but their schedule's kind of been like ours. They've wrestled a lot of tough teams already. Wrestled Penn State last week, 133. They have a 2-time national finalist, Drake Ayala. He has a losing record. He's a 2-time national finalist. So he's been having a real tough go. His schedule, 133 is just insane. Every single kid at that weight's a nightmare. Van D's rolling right now. He's been wrestling real well. That's one of the ones that I think that we can kind of, flip the script. A lot of the predictions are coming out, and we're not favored in that match in a lot of those predictions. But, Jake's on fire right now. And if he can carry some of that energy in, that'll be good. 41, Brock Hardy,
Going for career win number 100.
Career win 100. Yeah, I barely got there. I finished, you said 101?
I don't know what but.
101. I think Shane Van Ness in the semis last year was win number 100. I didn't know until they announced it on the intercom at NCAAs. I know. But 141, I think that's a match that we can push for bonus. Brock, he's there's been some ups and downs, but he's only lost to the best of the best in that weight class. So that's one where Brock, we need some of that veteran savviness to come out and maybe pick up some back points, find his way to a dominant victory. 149, that's another one. With Lamer, he hasn't had a whole bunch of dates under his belt yet. Wrestling a redshirt freshman, that's one that that'll be a big one. We need Lamer to kind of come out, and this could be his coming out party. Like we're still kind of waiting for that real breakthrough moment. And his past few performances have been pretty good. Missed out on him in Minnesota because he wasn't feeling well, but the match before that, he looked good. UNI, he looked really good. 57, Trelly and Jordan Williams. Williams was at my weight last year. I think he was a blood round guy, almost placed in the national tournament. He's tough. That's another one. Williams goes big a lot. And, Trelly has a knack for putting people on their back. So that's one. Maybe we could pick up some bonus. I had it written down as a decision. That's a tough kid. But, if he tries to do something crazy, Trelly has the ability to put someone on their back. So, looking to keep his pin streak rolling. 65, Mikey Caliendo, returning national finalist. I think he's ranked number 2 right now, maybe number 3. I think he's ranked number 3. Yeah. But, LJ, his streak of top 10, top 15 opponents continues. He's been on a little.
He's confident.
Yeah, he's been running the gauntlet, and he's picked up some wins in there. So, this would be his biggest win yet. So, just trying to keep that going. He's got a tough matchup with Caliendo tonight. 74, Tofi and Patrick Kennedy. Kennedy's tough.
Christopher Minto, if you don't know the nickname.
Yeah, my boy Toph, Christopher Minto. It's my Florida boy. He's been wrestling outstanding so far this year. And just still trying to keep that rolling. The kid he's wrestling tonight, real disciplined, real strong physical kid. But, Tofi's savvy. He's good in a lot of those weird positions. And Kennedy, Lenny Pinto last year was insane. If you haven't watched that one, that was a great match. I think the final score was like 18-15.
Oh,
yeah. That one was a good one. So, hopefully we can keep that result the same. 84, Silas Allred and Gabe Arnold. No Ferrari tonight. Looked like he banged up his ankle in the Penn State duel last week.
Angelo, not AJ, right?
Yeah, Angelo. Banged up his ankle against Rocco Welsh last week. So he wasn't on the probables. And then I didn't see him at weigh-ins. I don't even know if he made the trip. He's probably at home doing his rehab, getting back. But Silas and Arnold split 1-1 last year. Silas beat him in overtime in the duel, lost to him on rideouts at Big Tens. So that's another one. If Silas can go in and get on his legs, Arnold kind of shuts matches down, low-scoring matches most of the time. So if Silas can get an early takedown, that'll really kind of ease me a little bit in that match. But, it's going to be a challenge getting to his legs. Arnold's strong. He's athletic. He's good leg defense. Doesn't take a lot of attacks, so that's going to be, we need Silas to kind of push the pace a little bit, maybe get a stall call, find his way to a leg, get a takedown. 97, haven't seen the Ludington kid. I think that's who they're wrestling. The Sampson kid kind of got tuned up a little bit by Josh Barr last week, but the Ludington kid's tough. He was a pretty highly ranked recruit coming out of high school. Haven't seen him yet, but, we got Cam McDaniel, who's a returning All-American, so I like our chances there. But, Cam, he's strong, gritty. Haven't seen the Ludington kid wrestle yet. So, that's kind of a question mark, but we're ready for whatever. Then heavyweight, we got that big red Ferrari coming to town. He's back. He's been in the room. He's doing well. Kind of figuring some stuff out. And, I'm excited to see him. They weighed in 3 heavyweights. I'm assuming it'll be Ben Keeter unless the duel's already out of hand. But, Keeter, he's kind of another one of those shutdown guys. Not a whole lot of offense, but looking for Ferrari to go in, get a takedown. He rides good on top. He gets off the bottom well. So, it's going to be a good duel.
Listen, if you don't get into coaching, I think you could be an analyst at some point.
Maybe. I get the wrestling stuff a little bit.
Hey, let me ask you this. If you, in the middle of this kind of situation, do you know what is needed of you? Like, so, hey, I need bonus points. Or, hey, if something were to happen and Iowa gets up, do you know what a team is needed? Or you just have to go in and do what I do?
Sometimes you do know when you need the push for bonus points, but most of the time you just kind of, nickels and dimes before you go for quarters and dollars, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to go big. I've had a problem with that in the past. I remember last year at the UNI duel, we dropped 2 of the first 3 matches. So I was like, all right, I'm about to go out and get a pin, right? And I kind of went out, shot out of a cannon. I kind of, blew it out a little bit. At the end of the match, I was like, oh boy, I'm tired. And then it was like, the score wasn't, I didn't get enough points to really lock down a bonus point victory. And it was like, I came out I spent too much energy in the first period. So, it's kind of go out, do your job, and just kind of keep building and then find opportunities to pick up that bonus point.
Okay, so then again, it doesn't stop here tonight. We got another one on Sunday too. You don't have to run through everything, but tell us about Ohio State. You said they're legit this year, and so it's going to be another big challenge coming up on Sunday. The team's not talking about it, but you and I can talk about it here on the show.
Yeah, Ohio State is legit. They wrestled the one time that I got to see them wrestle in person at national duels. They looked real good. You know, they had the takedown bonuses on the line, and they cleaned house on those. They were going out. They were getting to their attacks fast. They're well coached. They're tough. They're physical. They're strong. They're a good team. You know, they're 25-pounder, big, strong, gets lots of bonus points. 33-pounders kind of been tearing it up this year. 41, Jesse Mendez, 2-time national champ.
Yeah, that's
nightmare,
a battle. Yeah,
right. That's a tough kid. 49, they got Ethan Stiles, formerly a Husker. That was my red shirt. He moved on to Oregon State. Now he's at Ohio State. Tough, scrambly kid. 57. You know, that kid, Brandon Cannon's ranked number 1. He was a Big Ten champ last year, or Big Ten runner-up champ. He was in the finals last year. He's tough. I think he just missed out on All-Americaning. 65, 74. Those are 2 matches that we can kind of flip those results, I think. You know, the national duels was tough. When we got to that Ohio State duel, we were a little banged up.
Yeah.
Especially once we got into the Oklahoma State duel. 84, the Fishback kid's pretty good. You know, that was one of the only ones we won in that duel. So, you know, trying to keep that result the same. The 97 and heavy, those are 2 results that, you know, we want to flip Cam McDaniel won in that duel as well, I believe. Yeah, Cam won in that duel. So, you know, keep that result. And then Ferrari, you know, he's had that Ohio State duel circled for a while. Yeah. So looking to flip that one as well.
Awesome. Well, great stuff. Great catching up with you. Best of luck to you. I know you've been around. You're here. You're helping out. Coach Manning, I think, will hire you as soon as you decide to put the coaching hat on,
That's
think.
the plan.
Again, congratulations. The banner hanging forever in program history. But again, thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, that's Ridge Lovett here on Sports Nightly. Got to step aside for a break. We're back with more coming up right after this.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Dear Weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. Direct TV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
The Akrs Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. The Akrs Broadcast Center back at the stadium is where we find Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody, and joined by our very own intern, and on the call tonight for the KRNU radio call of this one is Christopher Sullivan Diaz. Ticker extraordinaire, usually deliver of that, but we're going to pick your wrestling brain. Kyle, listen, if you didn't know anything going into this one, I hope you took notes from Ridge Lovett, because he broke everything down. Any question we had, I think he answered it going into this one.
I was just going to get ready to go home and just listen to my car and head back to my apartment. He broke down everything to a fine powder. Once he's done wrestling, the Big Ten Network needs to make one call, and that is to Ridge Lovett. The way, and I was talking to the guys here during the segment, he had no crutch phrases. He was smooth. He was to the point. What he said made sense. He was breaking it down. He has a legitimate future. Thanks to Jessica Coody for shining a light on it and being a Big Ten Network analyst. Now, I also want to mention this. Chris, I feel like a proud papa to see him with the headset on and the suit and tie. He's a handsome fella. He's going suit and tie for KRNU. I mean, he is the wrestling guy. Get in the frame here. Now, it would look much better if we had a ring light, but Jess broke that. So this
I know, I'm sorry.
I mean, the tie, the suit, my guy looks fresh.
Thank you. I've been waiting for somebody to say something, but I'm very glad you said it. Means a lot coming from you, Kyle.
Sparks complimented you earlier.
He did. It was honestly unreal to meet Shane Sparks. I'm a big fan of him. I always have listened to his stuff to try and improve and get better at this whole thing. But again, like, Kyle's been a huge help to me in getting better at this, and I'm very proud to be here.
Now,
Kyle, you get to ask. You get to ask him. What do you want to know?
Well, I want to ask.
I got my boards right here.
I want to ask from a play-by-play perspective, right? From somebody who has never called wrestling on the radio, how in the heck do you go about doing that?
Look, it's all about getting those moves right, getting those points. You know, it comes down to takedowns and pins, right? And we see a lot of that from this team, especially considering Antrell Taylor is your star wrestler. And when you got a guy like that, you know that you're going to be able to call a lot of action, especially at those earlier weights. We were talking about Jacob Van D here. You said it's a big night for him. A chance for him to get even with Drake Ayala, who's met only once so far.
All right. Give me the match. Tell me which one of these is the swing match, the one that Nebraska isn't favored, but if they win it, all of a sudden you're thinking about this match flipping on its head. Which weight group are we looking at that could be the swing to this whole thing for Nebraska?
I mean, if you're Nebraska, you struggled at 125 all year. If you can set the tone early, because we're starting at 125. If Alan Kaler can come out and beat Dean Peterson, that's a game changer for Nebraska coming out right away. Again, I think another one that's going to be huge is Patrick Kennedy against Christopher Minto. Kennedy's got tons of experience. He's ranked number 3 right now, but Minto has shown a really strong year so far, and if he can get that matchup, it will propel him in those rankings.
Hey, Shane in the chat wants to know, do you not own a red tie?
Hey, Shane, we got some rules of KRNU that I got to follow.
Yeah.
He can't be all in. He's a journalist.
Got to be unbiased today.
I tell you what, the presentation, the suit, the tie, all of it is on fleek, as the kids would say. AJ Ferrari.
We still say that.
I've heard so much about AJ Ferrari and just the hype of him coming here. From somebody who doesn't watch it on a daily basis, how has he lived up to, say, the hype and the expectation to what we thought with him coming into Nebraska?
Look, this is an entirely new experience for AJ Ferrari. He was at 197 when he won his national title at OK State. and now he's at 285. That's 88 pounds of pure muscle to put on in order to wrestle.
And he gets at the training table.
Oh, ding!
Boom!
If you didn't
Kyle,
say
I
it,
got
I was going to say it.
Continue.
Exactly. Well, he's eating 4 steaks a day at the training table. He sees Kyle for about 2 of them. And then you've also got this entirely new experience where he's gained 88 pounds of pure muscle, and he's still ranked pretty highly, and he's winning those matchups. He's undersized for heavyweight, and for him to make this kind of impact right away is honestly shocking to me.
Yeah, and I think obviously we know the news. We've talked about it as dealing with some legal issues over the last couple of weeks. Mark Manning addressed that at length this week during his press conferences, and they're wanting to help him work through it. And, Ridge just alluded to that too. He's been in the room, wants to handle this the right way. But it's been just, you talk about an adjustment in terms of weight classes. It's also been an adjustment on just what is demanded and expected here within the culture. I mean, it's a team kind of aspect of it where maybe he's been more of an individual in the past. And so I think it's just continuing to be a growing and learning process, but hopefully he comes out. And I think that's what Mark Manning is, saying, that we want to support him through this so he can get better from this and handle things better the next time around.
Yeah, absolutely. And he struggled with those injuries early on in the season. He had turf toe that he was dealing with, so he was not able to make every match. But now that we're in the swing of things, that we're in the Big Ten, the best wrestling conference, in my opinion.
You're not going on any limb. I agree. I don't think anybody will argue with you here.
Exactly. I mean, you're looking to him to be that anchor to your team, and he makes such an impact. I mean, he does have Cade Ziola behind him, kind of pushing him, but at the same time, AJ is just unreplaceable at that spot.
Where does this team?
Else you
got? I'm going to get to it because I'm such a professional over here. Got the scarf, glasses.
Expert.
We're all in over here. What are Nebraska's chances here? Legitimate chances? Do you feel this is a group that can win a national championship?
Look, when Penn State exists, that's always a toss-up. They have won 79 straight duels coming into tonight. But again, this team was a runner-up last year. They've got a lot of guys that are returning and are making a push to be nationally known guys. Again, back to Van D. In my opinion, he's incredibly underrated. He has won every match since November when he lost to Raymond Lopez of American, where he was winning that match, but he got pinned. You're looking at a lot of guys here that are podium guys and are potential national champions. Christopher Minto came out of nowhere last year. So if you're able to get that development underway and you're really able to show that in March, there's a high probability that Nebraska is able to compete at that national stage.
All right, we got to get to a break. Christopher, great stuff. Thanks for your help today. We got some interviews coming up that I would not have been able to do without his help. So
it's hard holding up that phone.
Trust me, I get it.
It's 5 minutes.
Not only is he on the call, he's also, helping me run the camera as well. He helped me set up. You should see our setup. You can't see it on the stream, but we have quite the setup going on here. But hey, have a great call. Thanks for your help, and appreciate your time here today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Chris.
Christopher Solon Diaz, intern extraordinaire. He's coming for Camden's crown. No, I'm kidding, Brady. Brady, I know you're listening too. Hey, we'll get to a break. We're back to wrap up hour number 1 next.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same: a wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your journey at woodhouse.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole: Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management, Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Welcome back. Final segment here of Sports Nightly. I am live inside the Devaney Center in the John Cook Arena. And Kyle, back in our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center over at the stadium. And we've got a big one coming up tonight again, leading into Iowa and Nebraska wrestling at 8 o'clock. And Kyle, can you see, on our live stream, and I know some might just be listening, but this crowd, we are an hour and 10 minutes out, and they are filling in. What a cool sight.
Over 7,200 tickets sold, so we're looking at a program record when it comes to crowd today at John Cook Arena. And I think the cool aspect of you being out there is a lot of things. You get some cool interviews, but the chance to see the crowd file in. You have some other media, too, around you. But Jess has staked her claim. Is that the TV spot for volleyball that you're at right now? Is that where you're situated?
I don't know whose spot this is, but I got here early enough that
you just claimed it.
Move your feet, lose your seat, right? And that's the saying.
Yes.
So, hey, you said we got a text on the text line.
Yes, Art in Los Angeles, our guy who called earlier this week. Of course, an incredible story. We're so happy that Art is listening and reaching out via text. Says, hey, Kyle, I have another favorite. His name is Christopher. Love the suit and tie. Great job. Hand clapping emoji. GBR. So Chris has now taken the crown as Art in LA's favorite. He had the suit.
Well,
he was look at just a classy look out of Chris. He's gonna call the heck out of that match tonight. So if you have the option, make sure you tune into KRNU because there's no other radio coverage of wrestling. So support our guy Chris tonight.
Yes, and he's up there. He's got his spot all good to go and has been prepping for this. He's been calling a lot of them, so he knows his stuff. So, and then I am actually, so John Baylor, you asked me where I am. I'm usually, John Baylor would be just right up and in front of me.
Wrestling,
I'm
you got to pin, you got to take
radio.
him to the ground. You could get some extra points. This is wrestling. This ain't volleyball, Jess. How'd that sound?
Hey, I'm going to let you close this thing out, but before I do, I'll tease what we got coming up. So we got a whole nother hour. We used to call this the party show. I feel like this is definitely a party show out here live on location. But coming up next hour, we're going to hear from the man himself, Mark Manning, as his team gets set to take on Iowa here tonight. So had a chance to catch up with him. Also, Shane Sparks. Kyle, a lot of times I have to adjust the volume on these microphones because I am so much louder than everybody else. He matched my volume. So excited. He's got a lot of energy. He's so excited for this one. I didn't want to call him out live, but I'll say it. I think it's okay. He said this is his favorite spot in the Big Ten to come. So I think that's pretty cool. But I'll let you close this thing out, and I'll check back in here on the other side as we take on hour number 2.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Jess. Enhance your grilling game with Nebraska-made grill from M Grills. Wood pellet and charcoal grills made to last with Nebraska values. Check them out at mgrills.com, a proud supporter of Husker Athletics. You heard Jess still have a lot to do, just finishing up hour number 1. Coming up, again, Mark Manning, head coach of Nebraska Wrestling, will join us in the second hour. Shane Sparks, who has the call tonight on the Big Ten Network, will join us all in the second hour. Jess had a chance to catch up with both of them earlier today. Coming up 8 o'clock, so right after the show. Once you're done listening, if you're not in the area to get to John Cook Arena, you can watch it on the Big Ten Network. Iowa is in town to take on Nebraska, and one is the start of a massive weekend for Mark Manning's team. Couple of ranked matches you have tonight with Iowa. Coming up, Ohio State on Sunday. So not just tonight, but Sunday is going to be a pair of really good environments out at Devaney and John Cook Arena. We can already see the crowd is getting set to file in. So plenty more to do. A lot of chat out at John Cook Arena. We continue right after this.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at appliedconnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Good evening, I'm Brady Alderson, and the Sports Ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. The sixth-ranked Husker wrestling team is set to take on the fourth-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes at John Cook Arena tonight at 8 p.m. Jessica Coody will be coming to you live from the Devaney Center during the show as the Huskers prepare for their duel with the Hawkeyes. Tomorrow, the Husker men's basketball team will put their undefeated record on the line in Minnesota as they take on the 10-9 Gophers. The Huskers are looking for their 20th win of the season and 24th straight win going back to the Crown Tournament win last season. Nebraska is now just one of 3 remaining teams with a perfect record. The Sports Sticker was brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Skip pass, deep left corner. Phillips drives past Hoiberg. Jump stop. He's just picked his pocket. Just took that ball right away from him. Hoiberg on the other end. Drives that puppy. Lays it up and in. He did it on the defensive end. He took it all the way down and scored. Now the drive on the right side to Kropp. Drop step, puts it up, missed the shot. Ball tip, Jacobson to Hoiberg. Looks up the floor, gets it back to Jacobson. Throws it to Sanford, shoots up a 30-footer. Bang, Reno. Holy smokes. The Huskers are on fire.
Flips it out top to Hargrove, defended by Sotillo. Amaya goes down the left lane line around Sotillo and gives Nebraska the lead. Amaya's got 19.
She's got 7 straight for the Big Red.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. Again, I am live inside John Cook Arena at the Devaney Center getting set for a huge duel tonight between Nebraska and Iowa wrestling, and the crowd is filling in. You're just tuning in, expecting a record-breaking crowd once again tonight. Over 7,200 tickets sold, and they are filling in nicely. The doors opened at 6:30, and right away, fans were filing in. And listen, Iowa fans travel, and there are Iowa fans here, but they're way outnumbered. I'll just tell you that. And there have been times that they've had taken up a little bit of the space here, but it's a good showing. What a great atmosphere this is going to be tonight, and we're going to continue to get you set for this one. Kyle is back in the studio, and another hour here. We're going to talk wrestling, more wrestling here coming up with Mark Manning and Shane Sparks, but did want to talk some men's hoops because big matchup on the road tomorrow at Minnesota. Kyle, I feel like all this team does, they either play at 8 p.m. or 11 a.m. But another 11 a.m. game for this men's basketball team on the road at Minnesota. Look, it's not an easy place to play without Braden Frager, but back to it tomorrow at Minnesota.
Yeah, massive game. They're all massive at this point, right? You want to continue the role that you're on, but it's been a pretty consistent schedule, the midweek night game, and then on the road, a 12 Eastern, 11 Central tip on Saturday. So the one good thing is that this team has gotten into a pretty consistent schedule every single week, which lends itself to success. And Minnesota, this is a tough place to play. Just like football, basketball has had a lot of trouble at Minnesota. Good news with Braden Frager, it seems like he's going to be day-to-day, so the severity of what could have been a lot worse with that ankle sprain seems like it's at the lower end in terms of severity, and that Frager, if he doesn't come back against Michigan, perhaps maybe Illinois is the first game that he has a chance to come back, which will be on your home floor. Now, no Braden Frager, what does that mean? More minutes, other guys have to step up. And one thing that we've talked about, if there's one Achilles heel of this Nebraska team, is that they don't have a whole lot of depth, right? They're playing 7-player rotations for the most part, which isn't, you're not playing a whole lot of guys when it comes to conference play. But now you need somebody like a Jared Garcia to step up and play more significant minutes. And when somebody's name gets called and gets hoisted into a much bigger role, you want to see how they perform. Jared Garcia has been a really good soldier up until this point. I'm sure he's wanted to play more, right? His minutes probably aren't what he expected them to be, but why this team is so good and why their chemistry is so good, he seems to come off the bench and play 150%, play his role and play it efficiently and effectively. So I would assume more minutes from Jared Garcia, even more minutes from Cale Jacobson, and then the usual suspects will have to pick up their scoring output. So I would also think that I would expect Rink Mast to have a better game. He's been struggling a little bit offensively of late. Can they get more of that outside shot from Rink Mast? You're taking on a Minnesota team. They share the ball. They're going to make you move defensively. One of the top teams in the Big Ten when it comes to assists. They're top 20 in the country when it comes to assisting on their makes, and percentage of their makes that are assisted is pretty high up there in the country. So they're going to make you move defensively. Can you get off to another fast start if you're Nebraska, which has been consistent on the road? If you do that, you're the better team going in. But, as we've said, the road, when you're a home team, you get about 8 to 10 points in terms of, added to the end of the score when you have that home court advantage. So can Nebraska withstand the runs that Minnesota will go on, because they will go on runs?
Kyle, I want to go back to the 2022-2023 season. And this is a year, you heard me talk to Charlie Hoiberg last week. Coach Hoiberg has gone back to this year, but 2022-2023, when they started to feel the tide start to turn. And while they didn't make the NCAA tournament, a really important foundation was laid that year. But also during that year, you had two really huge key pieces go down with season-ending injuries, and Jawan Gary and Emmanuel Bandamel. And it was kind of looking, it's not, Braden Frager's not done for the season. But when you talk about depth and losing an important piece, Coach Hoiberg's messaging has been next man up. Well, back in 2022-2023, that next man up just so happened to be Sam Hoiberg. And Sam has many times gone back to, had I not had the opportunity where I was forced into a role, I had to be ready. They talk about the conversation on a flight on the way back home from one of the games, and Coach Hoiberg calling Sam up there, hey, look, we're going to need you to take on a bigger role. It's your time. And so I actually chatted with Coach Hoiberg about that while we were recording the TV show the other day. But it's not like, a guy like Sam Hoiberg knows very well what opportunity can arise if, next man up. And so when you're kind of challenged with the lack of depth, you got an opportunity, and you can really make the most of it. And then you add some pieces that can continue to help you as you move forward. And then when you get Frager back, then, hey, all the better. You got more players that can contribute.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get Frager back here for the back half. I think that's the good thing. The problem is that it comes at such a significantly hard stretch in your schedule, where after this you're going to have the Michigans, the Illinois, and the Purdues. So can Frager play 2 of those games? The hope is that he could play at minimum 2 of those games. I don't think he's going to play against Michigan. So then you're going to have the thought of, okay, depth is going to you're going to have other guys step up at minimum over the next 2 games. Probably realistically, Frager, I would say maybe he doesn't play against Illinois. So the first thought is, okay, maybe we can get him back for the Purdue game. So for the near future, this team understands what has to take place. Jared Garcia, guys know going in exactly what they have to do. And it's a veteran group that understands seasons have ebbs and flows. I think what's unique about this season is you have not seen a down portion. The fact that you're undefeated up until this point, you have not had to go through a whole lot of adversity. So this is the first, in a way, adversity that smacks this team in the face, and how they deal with it is another bit of a hurdle in the marathon of this season. We'll see how they adapt, and it's going to be tough on the road. Good environment at Minnesota, really good. They're all pretty good in the Big Ten, but Minnesota's a solid team that's they played a solid schedule up until this point. So we'll see how they react to it, and how sort of that core also deals with not having Braden Frager on the floor.
11 a.m. again, tip-off at Minnesota. We'll have the pregame show for you at 10 a.m. with Kent Pavelka and Jeff Smith. All right, women's basketball, boy, they need a bounce-back win tomorrow, and it's a big one. PAC-PBA, Illinois, again, teams that have been right there in the top 25, but it's going to be another battle. But, again, a tough loss at Wisconsin on Wednesday night, and would be big to get a bounce-back performance tomorrow against Illinois at home in front of what is expected to be a big crowd. And so they got to work some things out. We talked to Amy Williams on the show yesterday, and, again, look to a couple of the leaders to step up and try to get some things right here. And it starts on the boards. They've got to be better on the glass if they want to have a chance moving forward against a lot of these teams, but it starts tomorrow against Illinois.
Yeah, the physicality, a toughness, that's what it comes down to when you're talking about rebounding. But you're also hitting, you've lost 3 consecutive games. You mentioned the ebbs and flows of a season. Well, here we are. You're hitting a rough patch, and that's all part of it. It's a team that's been ranked for most of the year, and how you find a way against Illinois. You're going to have the next 2 games on your home floor. Can you go 2-0 against 2 teams that are not nationally ranked, 2 teams that you can beat on your home floor? We always say you want to protect home floor in conference play. Well, you have a chance here over the next 2 games. You really want to try and go 2-0, and then all of a sudden you're feeling really good about yourself heading into February. We can panic now, but the reality is, Jess, is there's still so much time left in the season. You have a few games left here in January, and then you have an entire month of February before you're even talking about the Big Ten tournament. So the negative thoughts you might have about the team now here on January 23rd, we'll see where they're at on February 23rd. There's still so much of the season left.
Absolutely. Some huge opportunities left. And we've seen what this team can do. And, a lot can go. You get back in the win column. You never know what can snowball, but certainly a big win coming up tomorrow against Illinois for Nebraska women's basketball. 1:00 on the tip for that one. It's Pack PBA. They got a lot of fun things surrounding that matchup. And we'll have the pregame show with Matt Coatney and Jeff Grease starting at 12:30 for that one. Hey, I want to go back to the chat. Shane Jensen on the chat said he disagrees with you, Kyle. It's not the first adversity. Losing a season was huge.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a big loss, but also I think that might have been what has allowed for Braden Frager to take on the role that he has this year, because you would have had more minutes, maybe less, not as many minutes for Frager if you're giving them to Connor Essegian.
Yeah, I think that's a way. And when I said that, I was sort of trying to think through my mind about what else I was missing. But you're right there, not having Connor Essegian. But you're right, that also the butterfly effect, does that change the formula that they've had to this point? And who knows, Connor Essegian, if he's still playing, then maybe he's having the type of year that Braden Frager's having, where you're talking about him with all of these conference accolades too. So, it's not the first adversity that they've had, but I guess it's the first adversity we've seen in a while for this Nebraska team. So it sort of refreshes that mindset, I think, for this group that, look, we know this going into it. You need to play at a high level defensively. This team consistently does that every single night. You need to have solid play off the bench from Akel Jacobson, which he does every single night. You need to have Sam Hoiberg not just, score, be a part of the offense, but defend at a high level, go after the 50-50 balls. All those things that are the controllables outside of making shots, this team does on a consistent basis, and that's why they're a top 10 team and undefeated, because they take away a lot of the variables just by the sheer hustle that they play with every single night.
I think it's been awesome that we're at a point where we're freaking out about an injury, and Braden Frager is so well liked, and he has been a big piece. He has been a huge piece. He's been a big spark off the bench. But he's not the only piece. You still have a Price Sanford who's going on. He's had 3 20-point games, 8 this season. You've got Rink Mast, who, as you mentioned, has been a little quieter than maybe in some games earlier on in the season. And so, he's yet to have a monster game here in the last few weeks as well. And Sam Hoiberg, Jamarcus Lawrence, you've got so many pieces that look, it's a loss that you're going to have to work out without Frager. I think at this point, when you have kind of smaller numbers, any piece is a tough loss, but you still have some really good pieces that are very much capable of continuing on with this streak.
And it all starts with the leader. Fred Hoiberg is not going to have this team panic. He understands it's next man up. You saw him in the press conference after the game the other night against Washington, the calm demeanor that, look, this is our situation. This is what we're going to have to do until Braden Frager comes back. And considering the scene on the bench, right, when Connor's praying with Braden, and Braden looks pretty distraught and in tears in a boot, and the thought is, okay, man, we might not be getting the 6th player of the year in the conference back to he's now day-to-day. You take a massive, no matter what happens tomorrow against Minnesota, you take a massive deep breath with the news that you got after the Washington game.
Okay, quickly wanted to hit on this, and then we'll talk some more wrestling here coming up in the next couple of segments. But right before we were going to go on the air for the show, some news unfolding today with college football. Dabo Swinney of Clemson. Boy, we've complained and talked a lot about how there's some problems. There's not much people being held accountable for certain things. There's not a lot of guardrails in place in terms of the tampering, contacting players that have signed deals, that have committed, all that stuff. And Dabo Swinney's calling some people out today, Kyle.
Yeah, he's calling out Ole Miss and Pete Golding. He had a press conference. I don't know if it was an impromptu deal or if it was a scheduled thing, but he was at the podium for 20 minutes today reciting, as the kids like to say, he had receipts. He was going through timestamped text messages. Luke Farrelly was a signee with Clemson who had put his name in the portal. Big reason why he was massively tampered with. Ole Miss, so the story goes is, so he was committed to Clemson. There's a lot of moving parts to this, and they were trying to yank him away from Clemson and bring this guy to Ole Miss. And one of the snapshots of this story is while Farrelly was sitting in class at Clemson, there was a picture sent to him from Pete Golding, the head coach at Ole Miss, asking him what his buyout was for his NIL contract, and a picture of a $1 million contract offer from Ole Miss after he was already committed in classes at Clemson. So there was some back and forth between agents, the GM at Clemson, the GM at Ole Miss, and let's just say Dabo Swinney, he was fed up, and he had receipts, and he went to the podium for about 20 minutes today saying that, this has got to stop, and just detailing line by line how nefarious and how ugly and just the dark side of college sports that we've seen through reporting that he brought into the light today between this specific case with Luke Farrelly, who had signed with Clemson.
Listen, and we've heard it here. The guys here at Nebraska have been tampered with. Now, I don't know if it's been as blatant as that, but, Coach Rules talked about that, and even David Benning has brought up, after the bowl game, even people were contacting him about his son, and he works for our network. Yeah. But it's just out of control, and I think it's going to take some of this kind of calling people out publicly, as much as it's not what's been done. But, look, something's got to continue to be challenged to clean this thing up a little bit, because this just can't continue where we're hearing these kinds of stories.
I say it all the time, and Matt Rule is sitting in that seat over there, and I asked him on the air, hindsight, probably not the best question for the head coach, but I said, this isn't sustainable, right? And he shrugged his shoulders and said, well, it's what we have to do to compete. This is, and there's stories coming out. So Todd Golden, who's the head basketball coach at Florida, reacted to Charles Bediako, who was drafted, or he signed into the NBA G League, former Alabama Crimson Tide player, as I think he was in the Pistons organization, a G League player for the Pistons, is now coming back to college, and he will play on Saturday for Alabama against Tennessee. A professional basketball player is now going back to college and playing for Alabama. And Todd Golden, who was on his coach's show, was saying that essentially all the coaches are fed up, and somebody's got to take a stand. But it's not just football. All these sports, basketball's in a really tough spot when you have guys that have played in the G League and have the chance to play in the NBA, all of a sudden have that 5-year eligibility window where they're going to hop back in and next day play college basketball. It's just, none of it makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's go ahead and get to a break. We're going to get back to talking some Husker wrestling as we get set for a huge matchup here tonight. Awesome crowd already on hand. You can feel the buzz. It's going to be a fun one here tonight. 8 o'clock, Nebraska and Iowa, number 4 versus number 6, the first of 2 top 5 matchups here for Nebraska wrestling, taking on number 2 on Sunday against Ohio State. So we're going to chat with the head coach, Mark Manning, coming up next. I had a chance to chat with him earlier to preview this one here tonight. And more to come here on the other side of this. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
From the chant of Husker power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer. Camden, I like this beat. Where was I at? Where was I at, Kyle? The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. I should remind you or tell you, let you know, I'm live here at the Devaney Center. I do not have the reads on me, so those are memorized for me. So if I don't keep rolling, I forget where I'm at. But like the beat, Camden, that is more my speed, I guess.
Well, Ed Sheeran.
Welcome back live. You can see a great crowd here on hand for a big one coming up tonight between Nebraska and Iowa wrestling. On the text line, John in Omaha says, I was going to say how neat it is. I think you guys are giving wrestling such a great platform tonight. That was my first thought, but then I heard Kyle do John Baylor, and I was blown away. Excellent night. Go Big Red. Thanks, John in Omaha.
I don't know what you're talking about, John. Is that John in Omaha? Is that John Baylor in Omaha? You're in John Baylor's spot tonight. Wrestling, pins, bonus points. We're going to have fun tonight, Jess.
It is. It's going to be fun.
JB's got to hear my impression one of these days.
I hope he doesn't get mad about it.
I hope not.
We're also looking forward to you learning Nate Rohr. I won't ask you to do anybody else tonight. You're still working on those, but you got JB down after listening to him for a season.
He's I got a chance to sit next to him too for that Elite Eight match against Texas A&M. It was a top moment of my life. It was one of the greatest sporting events I had a chance to watch live, and I got to sit next to the legend call it, which was even cooler.
Okay, well, again, coming up tonight, Nebraska and Iowa wrestling. There's so many. We've gone through it. We've talked about it. You heard Ridge literally break it down. Every single weight class going into this one. Every point could count. But I had a chance to catch up with the head coach, Mark Manning, going into this one. Not just this one here tonight, but just a really, really big weekend for his program. Here's my conversation with Mark Manning.
Well, we were just chatting. What a monumental weekend for this program. I know you take it one day at a time, one duel at a time, but how big in terms of just what has been done here in the past is this weekend with 2 top 5 teams coming in here into Devaney?
Yeah, it's great for our fans for sure. And, it's a big impact weekend for us. There's a lot of seedings on the line, not only for Big Ten, but national rankings. And, it's what you come to Nebraska for. You wrestle in matches like this where, it's a coin flip, and you have to really fight for this. So fight for a victory, and it's going to be great for our fans, great for our guys, and it's going to really prepare us for postseason, what we have even moving up, further. We have Penn State coming up. So, a lot of good duels, and we're going to be challenged.
As of an hour ago, I think 7,200 tickets sold for this one here tonight, which already would break a record that you set earlier this year, getting pretty close to a sellout. What does that mean to you as the leader of this program?
Man, it means everything. It means so much. Really, it's about our team and about how they perform, the character of the guys on our team, and how our fans really embrace them and understand. We're part of Husker Nation, and our guys love to wrestle for the end, and it means a lot to them, and I know the fans really appreciate our guys.
How about for you as a competitor? What are the emotions and juices like for you going into a night like tonight and a weekend like this?
Yeah, it's just about our guys, about our team, and how they perform, and I look at it a lot like we're getting ready to wrestle someone in the semifinals at Big Tens or Nationals, and someone in the finals at the NCAA tournament on Sunday. So it's more like I look at it like that, how our guys recover, how they can respond, and just making great decisions today and when the bullets are flying.
I know a lot going into this one has been made about the lineup and what you potentially have with Brock Hardy, Chance Lamer missing last week. How do you feel about where your total lineup is going into tonight and this weekend?
Yeah, Jessica, really good. We're completely healthy, and Chance Lamer was sick last weekend. He just did not feel good. We thought he'd get better when we were on the road, but that didn't happen. And then Brock, we just gave him a weekend off, and so we wanted to see what Jake Hockaday was all about, and we know he's really going to be good. He's really going to be tough, and really just test a freshman, throw him in there and in a tough environment, and see how he responds. So it was really good. We have a full, strong lineup tonight and ready to go.
Brock Hardy going for career win number 100. How about that, and just what he's meant to this program throughout the years?
Yeah, he's a stud, man. Brock's meant so much, not only for his leadership, but just as a competitor, and just how his character and as a student athlete here at Nebraska. There's not many like Brock Hardy. He represents us well, on the mat, off the mat, and then just how he leads our team.
I don't need to tell you just the series and the records and the last time Nebraska won in this one, but what is it about this group here tonight that you have wrestling that could maybe get on the other side of this one here tonight?
Yeah, we've had a lot of close matches with Iowa, and they're a great team, and so it's going to be a great challenge tonight, and a lot of the fans showing up. It's going to be they could be the difference makers. Just this home environment that we've established is wonderful, and it's really to Husker Nation believing in our guys and believing in our program, and hopefully we can get it done tonight with their help.
All right, so I mean, every battle in this one matters, right? I mean, when you talk about some of the points that it could come down to. So what are going to be the keys for your guys here tonight, just really from start to finish?
Yeah, really, it starts at 125 with Alan Kaler will be going at 125 against probably Dean Peterson, I would think. They've listed a couple other guys, but that's their starter. So we expect that guy to wrestle. And then, at 133, Drake Ayala, two-time national runner-up. Jake's wrestled really tight matches with him, hasn't got over the hump, and tonight hopefully he can get that done. Jake Van D is going to be, that's a huge key match in this. And, they got good guys up and down the lineup, but I would just say, at 149, he's going to be a rider block, and Chance Lamer is going to be probably a coin flip. And then, 174, Christopher Minto, and their couple-time All-American Patrick Kennedy is going to be great. And 84 is going to be an awesome match, too. So with Gabe Arnold and Silas Allred, so it's going to be good. And then, hopefully AJ can finish it off against Ben Cooter. So that'll be a good match, too. So for the fans, it's going to be wonderful. So it's going to be, just a street fight with rules coming here tonight.
Hey, you triggered something in my mind. I got a chance to chat with Jacob Van D last week, and what a story he's been. And it just seemed like last year really unleashed him at Nationals and what he was able to do in the wrestlebacks. What are you seeing out of him this season that has allowed for him to really kind of take it up a notch?
He has just mentally got tougher. He's just, he put in a tremendous summer. A lot of people talk about putting in, he put in a lot of work this summer. He's a lot stronger at 133 than he was last year. And he's just more confident. He's just a lot more confidence. And when you're confident, Jessica, your belief in yourself and how you're going to perform just elevates, and that's where Jacob is right now.
Last thing, look, I mean, we got a chance to see some fireworks tonight, but turn right around and in 48 hours you got another chance. So if fans don't make it out tonight, you got two opportunities to see this team, and you could use them here this weekend.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely Ohio State. It's a really, really good team, and they're every guy in their lineup is ranked, I think, I don't know, in top 10, top 5. So
is yours.
Yeah, we're pretty good too. So it's going to be great, I think, for wrestling fans. You couldn't get better weekend than this on Friday and then on Sunday, and we just appreciate all the fans coming.
Thank you so much, Coach, for your time, and go get them tonight.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jessica. Go Huskers.
Yeah, that is the head coach, Mark Manning. So thankful he took some time to chat with us here today. I think I say this, I feel like art in Los Angeles, but every time I talk to a coach here at Nebraska, I'm like, that's my favorite. But Mark Manning is just unbelievable. He's such a great supporter of all the other sports here. You hear a lot of the head coaches talking about how supportive he is, and a lot of times he's a guy that is one of the first to text if anything good or anything bad even happens. He's just so supportive of so many programs, and so just a great person and deserves all the success. And hey, he's got a big one. If you can't look, there's 22 minutes on the clock here before this one gets started. You can see the Iowa wrestlers have made their way out onto the mat to start going through more warm-ups here in the actual arena. They've been here since I got here, which was 4 hours ago. But they're getting set for this one here tonight. But you still got time to get out here tonight. But if you can't get out here tonight, it's another big one coming up on Sunday. Huskers.com/tickets as number 2 Ohio State will be here on Sunday here inside the Devaney Center. I'm told I got a check-in from Damon Benning, who's also a big wrestling guy. He told me that Ohio State is up 20-0 on Minnesota, so that's a big win. They're dominating here again tonight, and they'll be a big challenge coming up on Sunday. So if you can't get out here tonight, you got another opportunity, Kyle, to come on Sunday.
I think it's 25-6 right now. So we have it on in our studio. Ohio State over Minnesota, match 9 of 10. They're on the 197.
Are you an expert on Ohio State now?
I'm getting there. Get back to me in 24 hours. I might show up to Devaney and do my own show on Sunday because you're getting all...
Maybe we'll just...
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the fact that I was relegated to the studio in the dark dungeon as it looks on the camera right now, and you have such a beautiful backdrop. You're just with all the celebrities and the A-list media members in the corner. You got your own ring light, your own headset, and here I am stuffed in a locker in the corner of the studio. Let's just call a spade, and the reality of this situation is that you took the limelight today and you stuffed me in a locker.
Well, listen, if you could talk wrestling, you could be out here.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And also, my ring light hasn't been very stable. As
you broke it.
So
You broke it.
it's off and on. So, you learn a thing or two about wrestling. I will gladly let you.
She didn't let me out of the studio, folks.
Next time
It's a
we
shame.
do this.
It's a shame.
All right, let's get to a break. Coming up next, we're going to hear from Shane Sparks. And if you need a little oomph, he's got it for you. He's going to be on the call tonight for the Big Ten Network in this one. So I got a chance to chat with him. The most knowledgeable person on wrestling I think I've ever talked to in terms of just the overall landscape. And he is a big fan of Lincoln, Nebraska. So we're going to bring you that conversation next year on Sports Nightly.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at AppliedConnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. Just a couple of segments left here for us tonight on this Friday night show. It's been a fun show. What a fun show to be able to be here on location and get to watch this crowd filing in. And again, it's probably going to be a record-setting crowd before the night is all said and done. Really, and go even more than probably smash it pretty good, I guess, the record that was set earlier this year. So what a great atmosphere it's going to be here tonight. And you're going to get a chance, if you can't make it out tonight, you can watch it on the Big Ten Network. They'll be broadcasting it here tonight. Shane Sparks is the voice of college wrestling, and he's got a lot of energy. He's pumped up, fired up to be here tonight. I got a chance to chat with him to preview this one here tonight.
Well, if you're familiar with college wrestling at all, you know who this guy is. He needs no introduction, but Shane Sparks. Well, how excited are you to be here tonight for this one?
I love coming to Lincoln, Nebraska, and when Lincoln and Iowa wrestle, it's one of my favorite dual meets. It's always interesting, and tonight, a bunch of toss-up matches. In the dual meets I especially love to call are ones where I really have no idea who's going to win. In both these teams, again, toss-up matches, credentials on both sides, ranked guys. I mean, these are the nights, especially with this border battle, with this rivalry, you can really cement yourself as a legend in this kind of dual meet. So I love coming to Lincoln. I love this place. Knowledgeable fans, great fans. It's cold outside. It's gritty. It's great college wrestling weather.
Okay, so every match is going to matter in this one. A lot of points people have penciled it in, trying to predict how it's going to go. But if you had to pick two or three that you're really kind of keying into going into this one, what would be those three? Let's
assume this dual meet starts at 125. If it starts at 125, 133 is really interesting to me. Jacob Van D is a hammer. He's an All-American. He got pinned in his second match of the season and hasn't lost since. He's really tough, Pennsylvania tough. That's a big match at 133 against Drake Ayala, two-time national finalist. Drake Ayala, it's been a rough start for him, but he's a winner. And in a dual meet like this, I think, especially with the crowd that there is, that's a big match because it can really just kind of ignite the spark on either one of those sides. So that's one that's going to be big at 133. Another one that stands out to me, man, there's a handful, but I'm going to go to 184. No Angelo Ferrari for Iowa tonight. They'll go with Gabe Arnold, who's really, really good. And then you got Silas Allred, a Big Ten champion. That'll be a big match. If heavyweight happens, that could be big regardless of who wrestles. If it comes down to heavyweight and the dual meet is on the line, let's go back to, 157 with Antrell Taylor, reigning national champ, of course. Jordan Williams, really talented guy for Iowa. Just a lot of toss-up matches. And matches like this in dual meets, if you're up by 7, you got to find a way to win by 8. If you're down by 8, can you get a late escape and lose by 7? You can be a hero just doing your job. You might not even win, but you could be, make a difference in a dual meet.
Are you intrigued at all to see Iowa's response given what Penn State did to Iowa, and that really never happens to Iowa?
Yeah, I am interested to see the response. And in both these teams, this is what I love about this sport. It's difficult. I mean, Nebraska's coming off the best finish in program history. They go to the national duels. It was a tough couple of days in Tulsa for the Cornhuskers. I mean, they had to learn something about themselves early on in November. Iowa's the same story. To that high standard, it's been a little bit rough for them this season. Lost the national duels final to Ohio State. And then, of course, they lost to Penn State last week. And like you mentioned, that just does not happen to them. So you got to move forward. You got to have a short memory. It's the circumstances of the day. So you got to, in the Big Ten too, you can't feel sorry for yourself. I mean, you cannot feel sorry for yourself, or it can really snowball and escalate to levels you want no part of. So, yeah, I mean, if you're Nebraska right now, you got a wounded dog in the corner. And you got to, I can tell you this, Iowa's not going to lay down. They're not going to feel sorry for themselves. They're just too good. They got too much pride.
Hey, take me back to the NCAA championships last year and the run that Nebraska went on. You got to call all of that. How magical was it to see what the Huskers were able to do? They were the talk of college wrestling.
It was fantastic. I have so much respect for Mark Manning. I mean, I think Mark Manning, he's in the perfect place. I just have so much respect for him, and I root for Mark Manning. Nobody loves his guys as much as Coach Manning loves his guys. And, the last couple of seasons, maybe some bumps in the road for them at the national tournaments, and they were able to put it all together, and momentum is a crazy thing. And you could just see the momentum building, and then to culminate it the night of the national finals with not one but two national champions in Ridge Lovett and Antrell Taylor back-to-back at 149 and 157, and for them to take second place, it's so difficult. And I will say this real quick. I loved the fact that they celebrated that. Yeah. It is so difficult to take home a trophy from the national tournament. Only four. There's only four of them. So I love the fact that they gave their best effort. It is something to celebrate. In this sport, you got to find reason to celebrate. Runner-up to Penn State, definitely a reason for that, and I love that they did that.
A name Husker fans very familiar with, Jordan Burroughs. And now you're working with as a little bit. He's getting into broadcasting. What can you say about how he is behind the mic?
He is fantastic at everything he does. He's got a charisma that just drips off of him. He's so articulate. His knowledge is second to none. He's got a way about him, and he's done it. I mean, he's got the credentials. He's very likable. I mean, he's got a bright, bright future. I mean, he's a guy that could be, when I look at Jordan, like Good Morning America good. I mean, he's super talented, and I love working with him. It's a lot of fun.
He's 7,200 tickets and counting for this one here tonight. That's got to be exciting, which is another program record that the Huskers broke earlier this season.
Coming to arenas that are sold out, best kind of arenas, got that from Tim Johnson, longtime broadcast partner on the Big Ten Network. When it is sold out and you can feel that energy, I mean, it's just you got to feed off that crowd, and I can't. It's fun to call them. It's definitely fun to wrestle in those environments, I'm sure. But if you can't wrestle in them, calling them's not too bad.
Last thing, just it's not just tonight, but Sunday. A quick turnaround for the Huskers with Ohio State. How about that? This is a huge weekend for this program, but what does that matchup look like on Sunday?
It's going to be a great matchup. I mean, Ohio State is phenomenal. I mean, Tom Ryan has done a great job with them. Again, bunch of ranked guys. I mean, they're led by their two-time reigning national champion, Jesse Mendez. That'd be a big match with him and Hardy. I mean, obviously a rematch to the national final, and then Mendez beat him at the national duels. But think about this with Nebraska. And this is why, and I know I'm a little bit biased, but this is why this sport is so tough. I'll tell you what. Look at Nebraska's 8-day stretch. They get Iowa tonight, Ohio State on Sunday, and next Friday night at Penn State. I mean, that is you. Again, you can't feel sorry for yourself. You got to go. That's why you come here. This is why you wrestle in the Big Tens. This is the big time. This is the major leagues. That's why you come to Nebraska.
I love it. Thank you so much for your time. Love listening to you. You do such a great job, and have a great call tonight.
Well, thank you so much, and I want to thank you for covering the sport. Really appreciate the job that you do in showcasing this great program here in Lincoln. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
I love that. Hey, Kyle, no need for coffee. Just do an interview with Shane Sparks.
You even got
We
props
don't need any
too.
bubblers.
I love it.
He's awesome. Great guy. Loves the sport. Loves this program. Loves Lincoln, Nebraska. So should be fun. But yeah, 10 minutes? Oh, 7 minutes. 7 minutes. We got to go ahead and get to our last break. We're back to get final thoughts and wrap up the show next.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same. A wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your journey at woodhouse.com.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Welcome back. Final segment here at Sports Nightly on this Friday night edition. What a fun show to be able to be out here leading up to the start of this one between Nebraska and Iowa wrestling. Number 4 versus number 6. And we are just about set to start this one. 8 o'clock start. They'll do some starting lineups, all of that good stuff. But as soon as the doors open, fans are filing in. And, man, there are very few empty seats in this house here tonight, which is going to provide for a great atmosphere. So excited for Mark Manning and this program to be able to have this kind of atmosphere, and hopefully it's duplicated on Sunday for another big one coming up against number 2 Ohio State on Sunday afternoon. There's lots of people filing into this one. I saw Herman Dalmagro of Nebraska women's tennis. Rhonda Revelle told us she was going to be here. I think there's going to be a lot of people here supporting this program here tonight, Kyle. It's going to be a fun one.
And as we get closer to wrapping up the show, what are the plans for you? Are you going to stay in the media area? Do you have your own VIP seats that say Jessica Coody sits here and nobody else? Where are we going to be during this?
I don't know. I'm gonna find a spot. I might go down by the tunnel so I can see. I'm gonna take it all in. That's for sure, because it's gonna be absolutely electric. You know, we heard a couple of different mentions of if they start at 125, they are indeed starting at 125, which is a big match for the Huskers. They've had a couple of different guys in the lineup. And again, with what those points could be, we got some fans here.
They're fired up. They're fired up.
Go Big Red. Yeah,
that's right.
But okay. Hey, no Iowa fans. No Iowa fans. All right.
Oh, it's an Iowa fan.
But no, I think again, start off strong at 125, and I think that's again we have talked about breaking down the points and where those points could come from. A lot of folks giving the nod to Iowa in this one. I think you really want to avoid bonus points here to start and get off to a good start. But, man, what a fun one. I cannot wait for this one to get going. But I am definitely going to take this one in and enjoy this one because there's a very few atmospheres like this one here tonight.
Well, Jess, great stuff out there. You were fantastic. The interviews were fantastic. We'll let you go watch the match before you have to shove a kid there on camera to make sure that they're not stealing your spotlight there, especially wearing an Iowa sweatshirt.
As long as if it was Nebraska fans, go ahead. But as soon as I saw the black and yellow, no, none of that.
The YouTube stars were born right there. Jess, tremendous work out there.
Kyle,
enjoy
don't
it.
forget one last plug for the Fan Day for softball and baseball tomorrow. I will talk to you guys on Monday, by the way.
Yes, sounds good, Jess. We will talk to you on Monday. Fan Fest coming up. Baseball, softball tomorrow, 6 to 8 p.m. out at Hawks Championship Center. So you'll get autographs, the whole deal before their season gets set to start. That is tomorrow, 6 to 8 p.m. Fan Fest, baseball and softball will converge into one event. Tomorrow also, Husker Nation, the countdown is on for one of the biggest women's basketball events of the year, PAC PBA, coming up January 24th. That's tomorrow. This year, we're heating things up with the Big Red Beach Party. Watch your Huskers take on Big Ten opponent Illinois, decked out in your best tropical gear with a specialty tropical drink in hand, all inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. PAC PBA is your tropical getaway right here in Lincoln. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/PBA. So you have the women tomorrow. You have the men as well. Pre-game will start with KP and Jeff Smith, 10 a.m. Central Time, as the Huskers look to remain unbeaten against Minnesota, heading into what is a massive stretch in their schedule. And then you have the women right after that. 12:30 start to the coverage with Matt Coney, Jeff Griesch, Illinois, PAC PBA. Make sure you get out there. Fan Fest tomorrow. So I know it's really cold, but you have an opportunity to watch the Huskers. For Jessica Coody, our entire crew, I'm Kyle Crooks. We will see you Monday here on Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota